Welcome to our English class, O levels, English 1123 code. Lecture 1, How to read text and types of texts. First of all, we will do reading strategies. Skimming. Reading a text quickly to get a general overview of the topic and content. Means it is just a normal reading in a quick way. Scanning. Scanning is similar to skipping. It is another rapid reading strategy. The difference is that you can scan a text, you actively search it for a key piece of information or a specific detail. The rest of the text is not relevant, only the information you have been asked to find. Rereading. Sometimes you need to read a text more than once to gain a full understanding of it. A second reading allows you to clarify anything that was unclear or confusing on your first reading, like the implicit meanings hidden in the text. Close reading. Close reading is where you think hard as you read a section of text. You may read closely to consider the deeper meaning of a text and try to clarify your thoughts about it. It is also a useful strategy for analyzing the language of a text, to discuss connotations of words and how writers used language to deliberately shape the writer's response. Types of texts. The texts you read and write about will be both fiction and non-fiction. So you should be aware of the types of texts that fall in each category. Fiction texts come in the variety of genres, for example, science fiction, which means usually set in the future when technology is more advanced than it is now. Human interest. Narratives about people facing a range of challenging situations which are totally imagining. Suspense, where the writer develops a tense atmosphere and withholds information from the reader. Adventure, featuring a group of people involved in dramatic events, just like adventuring a Mount Everest. Mystery, featuring unexplained happenings and giving the reader clues as well as distractions. Fantasy, set in strange worlds where anything can happen and featuring non human characters. Non-fiction texts include news reporting, usually in a newspaper or an online news site reporting on current events. Feature writing is a newspaper or magazine or a website exploring an issue or theme. Travel writing, which is about a travel book or on a website, you reviewing and recommending interesting places to travel or to avoid that. Autobiography, a personal memoir of author's life, not somebody's. It's called biography, which is our next category. Biography, a book written about someone well known, reflecting on their life and work. Biographies are written mainly about the famous personalities. Now let's do the exercise. Decide whether it is non-fiction or fiction. Discuss which genre or text type it is and make notes on any features of the text that help you make your decision. Text A. Let's do this. The damage being done to coral reefs in the first century is caused of great concern to the governments and environmentalists alike. It is estimated that 60% of reefs are already seriously damaged from overfishing, anchor damage, and coral mining. Means we can conclude that this text is from fiction. It's fiction text. How we say that it's a fiction text, non-fiction text? Sorry, it's a non-fiction. We can see that there it is just look like a newspaper report or any other article in a website that is telling us about the recent times in 21st century that coral reefs are being damaged. Means they are giving us a news. Now let's go to text B. Let's read together. Standing in the shadows, looking up at the manor house, he watched and waited. His opportunity would arise soon. He was sure of that. There was a single light in the small window in the eaves of the house. Soon it would flash on and off 3 times. That was his cue to act. We can say that it was a narrative about someone, which means it's a fiction story, totally imagined. You can he's experiencing any horror scene in his life, a writer. So it's a fiction text, and it can be narrative or it can be anything else. Text C. What do you want? Came the robotic voice. The clue in the text. From the other spaceship. Another clue. Sumail looked up, terrified, his eyes unable to see what was in front of him, due to blinding white light emanating from the doorway. Tentatively, he stepped forward. So it's literally clear that it's a non-fiction, fiction text. Sorry, again, and it's about it's about a science fiction, as the robots are still not available in our world. So it's a future telling story, means it's a totally imagining, and it's a show that the technique to present action, third person narration, or sense of description, expressive vocabulary. Means we can see that the robotic voice and the spaceship means it's a fiction and it's a science fiction. Yes, this is how you can identify how the text type is. Now let's do the text D. He grew up as a poor kid in a slum in the Brazil. Means the writer or a person lives in a Brazil and lit up the world with his audacious and mesmerizing football skills. Means he have a football skills very good. Having dreamt of being spotted by the talent scout, his dream came true one ordinary day. Means he became a very well football player one day with his friends on a dusty street. He laughs when he talks about it. Means we can clearly see that it's a biography of someone. Means the writer is writing about someone who someone's life, who is a famous personality in the world. So it's also non-fiction. Yes. Here is the end of today's lesson. I hope you will have liked it. Thank you.